Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Ivar Twistfoot the Wandering Skald. And our dear traveler finds himself here off the coast of Provence on his way back home after 16 long years of travel. He has had an amazing journey, and the tales that he has to tell go beyond that of probably anyone else in this time period. But it is time for him to return home. And over the last few episodes, I have avoided showing you guys what has happened in Iberia, and I've avoided looking too closely myself. But I think after all this time, it is finally our chance and our opportunity to reveal what has happened to Iberia in Ivar's absence. What does that land look like now, 16 years later after he left? Well, here it is. This is Iberia, nearly 20 years after Ivar's expedition left. And as you can see right away, there are some big differences. Castelli is greatly expanded, and we have the Kingdom of Galicia here. Those are the two big things. Navarra is definitely on the ropes, and all of these lands down here, the Andalusian lands, are getting consolidated. This is quite a big change from where it was when we left, and we're going to go in depth into it as Ivar is about to return home here. So let's take a look at the Kingdom of Castelli first, and we do know that Harold died. We saw that event pop up, but we can now see that Castelli is ruled by his son, King Ingolfur, Harold's son. And what is actually interesting about that is that Ingolfur is not the eldest son of Harold. He is actually the third son. And the reason why I suspect he inherited is because they've got the Scandinavian elective title succession law for Castelli, and Jorander and Gudfrider are both children of concubines, whereas Ingolfur is actually the eldest of the sons of Queen Mother Thora. And that, I think, is why he was elected to the position of king. So that's pretty cool. What's even more interesting is that his wife is our niece, King Glode, Rogenwalder's daughter. So this is the daughter of our brother. Our brother died 2 years before we returned home, and that's pretty rough. I'm sure Ivar is gonna be pretty choked that he didn't get to see his brother one last time. Interesting to note that his brother had 6 kids. Only 2 survived. 4 of them died, one from being sickly, but 3 of his children died in sieges. That was probably rough. There must have been a bunch of war going on in the realm before this. And obviously Harold died. He died in his sleep at age 57. So yeah, that's the situation with the Kingdom of Castelli. But what about the realms within it? Well, let's take a look at probably the biggest one you notice, and that is that the realms of Hrafnjall are now part of the Kingdom of Castelli, but they weren't conquered, or at least I don't think they were, because Jarl Eirikur Ulfricsson, the son of Ulfric Ravenblood, still rules in those lands. He still holds both the title of the Jarldom of Hrafnjall and the Jarldom of Lyon. So what I suspect happened was that he swore fealty. He must have got an offer of vassalization and accepted it, which definitely makes sense. His brother or his sister is married to the prince, or one of the princes. So there was obviously an alliance and close ties there. This guy's a bit of a beast himself. I mean, ripped a man's head off. He's a berserker, flagellant. He is a hunter. He's an extremely skilled warrior. Definitely would have made his father proud. So, despite the fact that he might have sworn fealty, Hrafnjall is still a very important and powerful realm here within the Kingdom of Castelli now and within Greater Iberia. We'll take a look at the other side as well, and we have Haraldur Radiger, son of Vizcaya. So we also lost Jarl Radiger, the Wolf Slayer over here. But they did expand their lands as well. So they've got Norlanda, but they took Ipiscoa from Navarra, cutting Navarra off from the sea. So I don't know if that was during Radiger's time. Actually, it looks like it was. So Radiger did it himself before he died, and now his son Harold II has taken over here. So I assume, was he named after King Harold? I wonder. Somebody, the council member who made Radiger can let me know if Jarl Harold was named after King Harold. Would be kind of cool if he was. So yeah, House Snarfari doing pretty well as well. And then, I mean, a big thing here, Kingdom of Galicia. And it is now ruled by King Hasting Hrolfrson. So yeah, Rollo is dead. And with Rollo being dead, along with Harold and Ulfric and Radiger and Olafur, all of the Viking lords who invaded Iberia so many years ago are dead. And it's a new generation that rules these lands. Many of these people were born in Iberia, or at least grew up most of their lives here. And so it's pretty interesting to think that this is like a second generation Norse culture that is, you know, ruling over these lands. But interesting to note over here, King Hasting was not originally the king here. We can actually see the title. So Rollo did form the title, but if we look at its history, we can see that Ordonu was technically the last ruler of Galicia, because his father was the king of Asturias. So we've got Ordonu here. Does have the claim to the land. Yeah, he does actually claim the kingdom of Galicia, because he was technically, I think he was technically the last king of Asturias before it was all taken over by the Vikings. But yeah, Rollo made the title. He died 2 years later, and then his son King Freyr died of consumption 1 year later. And so now we've got King Hasting here, who was married to one of the House of Hrafnsblood. And so, yeah, like I said, Hrafnsblood is still obviously very influential in the region, with an alliance with the king of Galicia here. We can also see that they are currently in a war, attacking the emir of Balancia, and they're attacking it for this duchy over here. So going for a little bit of a ways away from your homelands, but, you know, I guess you do you, King Hasting. So yeah, that's the Iberian lands, or the Norse Iberian lands anyways. And yeah, that is really cool to see that it's been like consolidated in this way. We can also see there is another kingdom down here, Zenzir, which is ruled by Malik Masud the Strong of House Banu Dais, who's this guy's pretty cool actually. He's also kind of a badass. And we can see he actually rules over chieftain Yorunder ibn Uba. Yeah, the son of Uba Ragnarsson has actually converted to Ashari and the Andalusian culture now that he is being ruled over by the Malik. And that is actually really cool to see. So one of the Norse here has actually converted over to Ashari, so he's become a Muslim. So that's really neat to see as well. And yeah, we can see Zenzir is doing pretty good. And yeah, a lot of these Andalusian lands have consolidated as well. Batalwes, Cortuba, Ispelia, Balancia, Tulitula, and Saracusta, all pretty strong. There's only a couple small little realms that haven't been subsumed yet. And Navarra is looking not so great over here. So yeah, that is that's the current situation as it is here in Iberia, and this is what Ivar is going to find himself coming into. Now, before we get there, I do want to just quickly take a decision here, because I'm gonna want to found a salon, and we do need to get some more poets. So I'm actually gonna just do this here because it takes a little while for it to run. We did get a wandering lifestyle perk, so I guess we'll take this one because it's the only one we can take. Finding our way, which allows us to take a designated terrain, and I think we'll go with highlands because we always end up having trouble with highlands. So there we go. We've got a new poet here, Alfhirder. So that's cool. We stopped off in the capital of the Kingdom of Burgundy. Got a little bit of experience there. And as we travel, as we make our way here, and there it is, Ivar, for the very first time in 16 years, as he sets foot in Tortosa, has now returned home to Iberia. And that is very cool to see. His travels have been absolutely insane to me. And it's been such a cool campaign so far, and it's not even over yet. We drop off the person we were bringing there. Our goal obviously is to head to Burgos here, but I'm tempted by this level 3 escort contract. Let's see where King Jaku wants us to take somebody. To Tudela? Okay, that's on the way, so I'm totally fine with that. Oh, he wants us to take the queen? All right, we'll do it. Queen, all right, all my camps shall travel there. So yeah, this is just some nice extra money on our way. So we're definitely going to want to do this. So here we go. We arrive in Tudela. We get the money here. And then we should probably get a little bit of extra money here from these people, right? The door to my tent opens, and Aaliyah stands right in front of me. I apologize for interrupting you, Lord, but I bring you news that may be of interest. I was resting at the Girthy Hound and drinking with a group that revealed themselves to be servants of Sheikh Isa. They have some secrets here. A secret would make an excellent story, inspired by life. Yeah, all right, let's do that. We can make a request here. Do we want to just get some extra money? Provisions, marriage, yeah. Nah, that's fine. Don't need to worry about any of that stuff, I don't think. Well, let's continue on. Where does this contract want to take us? Big contract to Nyera. I guess that's kind of on the way to Burgos as well. All my camps shall travel to Nyera. Our goal is to get to Burgos, but we're going to make as much money as we can on the way. Because Ivar wants to show up in Burgos and he wants to be rich. And I should note that as we arrive in these lands, you know, when we got to Saracusta and Tudela, we probably heard of the death of King Harold for the first time. We probably heard of the death of our brother for the first time, and that our nephew now rules those lands, a nephew whom we would never have met. This is Ivar hearing of all of this for the first time. And that, I think, is kind of crazy to think that he would come back and everything would be so different. You know, the people are the same. The religions are the same. The cultures are the same. But the situation that he finds himself in is completely different. And so Ivar is going to go to Burgos. And this will be the final stop on his long journey. I have granted a cadre of Amayan nobles an impromptu audience on the road, a few moments to pay their respects. I find myself distracted by Christina. My young daughter is acting as a translator for some companions, switching between languages and manner with nuance and ease, fostering a lively exchange. From what I gather, the girl is growing into something of a natural emissary. Well, that's awesome. A talent to foster. We gain sponsored emissaries for 10 years. Different cultural opinion, cultural acceptance gain. Oh, that is actually good. That is actually really good. I should put a stop to this. No, girl, come regale us in Norse. This is actually absolutely what we want, because we do want to increase cultural acceptance. And here we go. We have arrived in Burgos to the court of King Ingolfur. And I imagine that considering the queen is our niece, and this man would have known us, you know, he's 27 years old, so he was 9 years old when Ivar left, and we were the cousin of the king, and we were friends with his father, so, you know, King Ingolfur absolutely knows who Ivar is. He knows of his story, and when we come back with tales from Italy, and from Greece, and from Egypt, and the Holy Land, and from all these lands to the far, far east, I imagine that the king would be delighted to host us in a feast. And I'm actually going to set that up really quickly, where King Ingolfer will host us as a feast with us as a guest of honor. So just give me a brief moment. So there we go. I've set up a feast with us as the honored guest, and we're going to join it here. The servants run across the hall, bringing the final decorations. Some of the guests are yet to arrive, and I indulge myself with delicious drink by the fire. There's no place I'd rather be. So the feast is going to be held in a few months' time, I believe. If we take a look here. Yeah, so we are the honorary guest. I think we might try to befriend the king while we're here. Ooh, is King Jakku gonna come? That'd be cool. But we'll befriend the king. And I think while we're here, while we're waiting for the feast to begin, I imagine that this is the time. Now that we're in Burgos, now that we can finally put up our feet and rest, this is when Ivar would write his book, his great memoir, The Travels of Ivar Skalandill. I have traveled far and wide, been to places strange and outlandish. The wisdom I have accrued is inimitable, a treasure for any curious and learned soul. Let us take this decision. I have seen wondrous things. The bright sun rising over snowy mountain peaks, the effervescent gutters of sprawling cities, the temples harboring the most pious and most wretched souls, the works of men across centuries, nature's wonders crafted by the hand of God Almighty. I have seen it all. I have talked with highborn and lowborn alike. I have seen people live in a myriad of ways. Such a trove of astute observations of my faultless reminiscences would be a treasured marvel for anyone with but a spark of curiosity, should I decide to write it down. Now, we could say our memories belong to us alone and gain a bunch of perks, but no, I have not told half of what I saw. We gained the Travels of Ivar Skalandill artifact. And let's take a look at that artifact here in our inventory. The Travels of Ivar Skalandill, illustrious journal, monthly lifestyle experience plus 40%, monthly prestige plus 20%. This is, this book holds all of his stories, probably with some exaggerations, I would imagine, but certainly something that tells of such amazing places that the people here in this land would not even dream about. Now, I want to actually leave this up to you in the comments. What do we name this book? I'm tempted to call it the Saga of the Skald, and I think that's a good name. But if you have any other suggestions, let me know. And if there are any truly creative and enterprising people in the comments, if you want to go and write an excerpt from Ivar's book, like write it in the way that Ivar would write it about one of the experiences that Ivar had in his journey, I will change the description of this artifact to match that, because I'm pretty sure I can do that. I will change this description to a cool excerpt that one of you guys in the comment writes. So put it in the comments below or go into the Discord and drop it in the Discord. And I will switch this out for one that actually fits with his story that you guys write. So that is really cool. And these are the stories that Ivar is going to be telling while he is here at this feast and, is being celebrated by the son of his friend, by, and technically our cousin here as well. And our niece is here. I mean, this is truly the culmination of everything Ivar wanted. And here we have jarls and princesses and queens, all these crazy people here. A high chief is here as well. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of people coming here. Our daughter has come of age. That is cool to see. We've gained a diplomacy lifestyle perk. I think we'll go for bound by blood here. A known name would have made sense as well, but we can demand payment here. Sure, might as well, keep our money rolling. But yeah, I mean, look at the feast here. Is anybody else coming? 4 months until it begins. So yeah, Raven's blood is here. Ooh, aches and pains. Yeah, we're getting a little bit older here. We're almost 50, so yeah, let's see who else arrives to hear the tales. Oh, and we got another poet. Does this mean we have enough to yeah, we can found the salon. Perfect. I really wanted to do that decision. So the feast will begin soon. And we can see the Jarl, he's dancing with this Rixgodi here. So that's good for him. I hope you enjoy yourself, Jarl Eiriker. He might be a warrior, but he seems to be a dancer as well. And yeah, here we go. The feast is just about to begin. So there we are. Every guest is gathered in the hall, and King Ingolfer welcomes us. I look forward to this. I do indeed look forward to this. What started as an ordinary feast becomes an exceptional one thanks to the presence of Gita. Oh, the Rixgodi here. Very cool. It seems that we could become friends with her, potentially. Hogni Yingling praises the... Oh. A loud crash resounds through the great hall as one of the doors to the service quarters breaks. In a barely clothed tumble, my accountants Count Thor and my acquaintance Vigdis spill out onto the floor in front of everyone. This is the daughter of Jarl Ragnar and the wife of Refel Ufridsson Jute. Okay. This is the granddaughter of Hasting and of King Harold. Oh, okay. And here we've got, this is our cousin. Crazy. And he was arrested for apparently for such a thing. Wow, okay. That was a little bit of a shocking turn of events at the feast. There seems to be a slight delay as Arnbjorn looks ready to burst with frustration. Arnbjorn has a point. Where's our food? He's making such a fool of himself. Yeah, we've gained courteous guest for 5 years. And there, the feast is beginning to end. After extensive conversation over our delectable dishes, Mayor Einar expresses that he finds me most learned and wise, and that my utterances are always of inestimable worth to those less well-read than I. He recognizes true intellect, I see. Yeah, there we go. And the feast, the feast ends with the king giving us a toast. We gain highly esteemed for 10 years. It's nice to be appreciated, is it not? And so there we go. We failed our intent to befriend, but that's all right. We'd certainly enjoyed our time here, and you know, the king got to host the greatest and most well-learned of men, and you know, Ivar's experiences, his long journey is something that I think that people would come from far off to hear of. But the question is, what does Ivar do after this? After he's traveled so far, this whole, you know, all around the world, he's seen so many things. He's done so many things. He's met strange people. He's had religious experiences. He's learned from religious scholars of religions that the people here don't even know, that they haven't even heard of. And he's seen sights that few others could claim to have seen. And he also lost the love of his life, Juliana. And I think after all of that, Ivar would be a lot more contemplative. He would be thinking of, you know, what his life means and what all of these experiences amount up to. A good tale, certainly. And I think even more than that, I think they would be an inspiration. And I think Ivar sees himself now as being in the position to pass on his knowledge. And I think to do that, he needs to put up his boots. He needs to take off those traveling shoes, and he needs to settle down. And we do have the option, if we so choose, of purchasing land from King Ingolfur. And I think that we're going to do that because Ivar here, he has done a lot. He's nearly 50. And I think it's time for him to move on to the next part of his life. You know, he is a man who loves his freedom, but freedom can be found on more than just the open road. And I think that now that he's a bit older, he wants to spend his time with his family. You know, his son is married and, you know, might be having some children soon. He's got young daughters to raise. And he's been away for a long time. And, you know, coming back and seeing that his brother, or hearing that his brother died 2 years before he arrived, you know, having never met his nephew, I think that Ivar would see this as an opportunity for him to do something new. And it's not the end of his journey, it's just a new journey. And so this is what we're going to do. Now, I already took a look, and there's only a few places we can purchase, and it's only counties that are held by the king: Amaya, Burgos, Olmedo, or Quellar. And as you can see here, Quellar, or however you pronounce it, I'll pronounce it Quellar for now, has a special unique building in it, which we could potentially build, not with Ivar, because I'm pretty sure that we don't have the technology to build this, but perhaps with a descendant of Ivar. But even cooler than that, I think, is take a look at this county. No buildings in the county, or in the capital, or in the barony. No buildings in the city. Barely anything here in the temple down in the valley. This is a completely untouched land. And I think Ivar would like the idea of coming here and building something on, you know, on this empty land, building something that is truly his. And that idea, I think, is really cool. I actually like that there's nothing here, because Ivar is going to be the one to turn this into something special. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to purchase Quellar from the king. So let us select that. Let us do this. There are decisions here. There's plenty of other decisions that we're not going to have access to, but I don't think that there are any that that we were going to get in time, and none that I'm really interested in. Legacy of Skalandill, sure, but we only hit 26 of 50, and honestly, I didn't really want to grind that out, so we're not going to do that one. A price for everything. I could scarcely believe it when I received King Ingolfur's assent to my offer. I mean, I don't think there was any doubt about that. I will at last have my own castle with my own roof, or my own hall with a roof and 4 solid walls. I am to be the new Count of Quellar, ruling over the area as a Castalian vassal, reliant on and beholden to my new liege in equal measure. Though my rapid climb up the kingdom's greasy pole has surely raised the hackles of a few of my fellow lords and ladies. I doubt it. Everybody loves Ivar. And here we go. Yeah, so we pay for this. There's a few negatives to us taking it over: ennobled adventurer and things like that. But we also gain the veteran adventurer perk. All camp buildings will be demolished and a portion of their costs returned. So we should, yeah, we probably got a little bit of money from that. And every patron with a positive opinion gains 30 opinion of us. And so there we go. Ivar is no longer Ivar the Wandering Skald, but he is something else, and all of those court positions are vacated here. But yeah, this is Ivar settling down. This is, and you know, the land is neighboring our nephew's land, and it's right in the heart of the Mos-Arabic lands in Iberia here as well. The culture is not the same. It's Andalusian culture, but we know the Andalusians really well. I mean, cultural acceptance is a little low, but we can try to boost that. And I think that this is really, really awesome to see that Ivar has an opportunity to here now to do something special. And the very first thing that we're going to do, the very first thing that we are going to found here on our new land is the salon. Establish a permanent poetry salon in Segovia in order to nurture the best and brightest minds. Dynasty Skalandill gains 75 renown. We gain 350 prestige. We gain founded salon. So this character has founded a permanent poetry salon, establishing a center for the arts for generations to come. Monthly income goes up, prestige goes up, lifestyle experience goes up, personal schemes goes up, and the county, this is the best part, the county gets the poetry salon thing here. A wildly known center for the arts, plus 25% holding taxes, plus 50% development growth. That's amazing. And plus 35% popular, or plus 35 popular opinion. That's an amazing thing to get here. Salon established. It is nearly done. A permanent place for poets to gather, mingle, and bring through the next generation is being constructed in front of my eyes. My mentor's dream, a prosperous and bustling center for the arts here in Quellar, is finally coming to fruition. As the last slats of wood go in the floor, the smell of freshly painted brickwork wafts across the courtyard. A cheer goes up from the watching crowds as I usher in local orphans to begin their lessons. Look at this. We're literally bringing in orphans to teach them poetry and art and creativity. You know, and probably stuff that we would have learned in like Italy and Constantinople and in Baghdad and in the Holy Land. All these different types of art and poetry. This is this is such a cool thing to get here. But that's not all. For Ivar is vastly wealthy. I mean, Ivar is richer than kings. Well, actually richer than certainly this one who's in debt. Wow, he's in debt too. Ivar is probably one of the richest men in the world, and he has money to spend in. He's going to spend that developing these lands into something special. So we're going to construct some buildings as well. I'd like to get some stuff with development growth, but I don't think that we can do anything here in the castle that boosts development growth. So I think what we're going to do is build the cattle pastures to get the money flowing a little bit. I think that's going to be good. So we're going to get cattle pastures there, but we also have enough money to start developing the city as well. So we can go in here, and there should be something with development growth in here. Guilds down here, yeah, plus 5% development growth. I really want to boost the development growth here in this county so that it you know, gets nice and high, because it right now compared to the rest of everything, it's just kind of mediocre. I want it to become, you know, the biggest center here in the northern part. You know, Cortuba's at 19, Tula's at 16. We're currently at 7. Burgos is at 8. Yeah, we could definitely do this if we try here. So yeah, we'll build that, and then in the temple, I think we'll build something as well. See if there's anything development growth. Doesn't look like it, but monasteries. This school teaches many subjects and it's a rare center for high learning, but the students enrolled here primarily study to prepare themselves for future careers in the clergy. Ooh, maybe our son could make use of that. Enoch. Construct the chapel. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to replace Suffragan Bishop Catan with our son, because I think Enoch, who's actually back in our court anyways. So our son has heard about us coming back and he's come here. Yeah, I'm going to put Enoch as the Suffragan Bishop here in our county because I think that'll be really cool. And maybe we could put one of our other sons as the mayor of the town here. So I'll do that in between episodes. But yeah, I mean, developing this land, you know, preparing it for, you know, what's to come. I mean, what else do we have here? Oh, we can increase our authority. Might as well do that. You know, let's go to limited crown authority here. Ooh, can we vote? Nominate an heir. Oh. We could nominate Ordonu to be the potential next king. That would be interesting. Voting strength 9. Who are the electors? Huh. Oh, wow. And there's all these different candidates, and we have the highest voting strength. We could have Ordonu become the next king, potentially. That is interesting. Oh, cool. There's a lot of cool things going on here. And I think there's going to be a lot for us to explore in the next episode, you guys. But I know that a lot of stuff just happened, and I want to hear your comments about this. I want to know what you guys think we should do. You know, we've got all these decisions. There's tons of cool things. We're going to fill up our council with the people in our court. You know, Artavan the White Whale and Sebastianos and you know, maybe the nuns. We'll put the nuns somewhere. Isaac de Caceres, who, oh nice, had a kid too. We're gonna go and set all this up, and Ivar's story is not done here. Ivar's story is just going to continue in a little bit of a different form here as he has finally settled down. And I think that this, you know, actually makes me pretty happy, because I think that Ivar here, his story isn't ended yet, but I think he's moving towards a happy ending. And I like to see that because I've grown attached to this character. I do think that he is the best character that we've ever had in a series. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of his life holds. So I hope that you are too, Wanderers, and we shall see what it holds in the next episode. Until then, thank you for watching.